Roger had hit rock bottom. His once successful career as a romance writer had dwindled, leaving him with a string of rejected manuscripts and overdue bills. He spent his days in a dimly lit apartment, his typewriter gathering dust in the corner. One rainy afternoon, while staring at a rejection letter, Roger decided he needed a change of scenery. He needed inspiration, a spark to reignite his writing career. That's when he remembered the tale of the Brookside Hotel, a place whispered about in hushed tones among writers and thrill-seekers alike. Located deep within a remote forest, the hotel was a massive, decaying relic from a bygone era. Its once grand facade was now a haunting sight, with cracked windows and ivy crawling up the walls. The air around the hotel carried a heavy scent of damp wood and decay, as if the very building exhaled a musty sigh. Roger researched the hotel's history and found that it had been a luxurious retreat in the early 1900s, catering to the rich and famous. But as the years passed, the forest encroached upon it, and tales of strange happenings began to emerge. Deaths, disappearances, and eerie occurrences had earned the Brookside Hotel a notorious reputation. Determined to find his muse, Roger packed a small bag and set out for the remote location. The winding road leading to the hotel seemed endless, flanked by towering trees that seemed to close in on him. The sense of isolation grew with each mile. Finally, the looming silhouette of the Brookside Hotel emerged through the trees. Its sheer size was intimidating, casting a long shadow over the forest. Roger parked his car and approached the entrance, where a frail old man with sunken eyes greeted him. "Welcome to Brookside Hotel," the man croaked, his voice reminiscent of a coffin's lid creaking open. "We have one room left, sir, but it's on the 7th floor, room 704. No one stays there, you know. It's haunted." Roger chuckled, dismissing the old man's superstitions. He needed a quiet place to work, and he wasn't going to let ghost stories deter him. With a key in hand, he ascended the creaky stairs to the top floor. Each step seemed to echo with the whispers of the past, and the dimly lit hallway felt like a portal to another world. Room 704 was a time capsule of faded elegance. Dust-covered furniture, moth-eaten curtains, and a sense of abandonment filled the air. Roger unpacked his typewriter and settled in for the night, determined to break his writer's block. As night fell, strange sounds echoed through the darkened hallways. Roger dismissed them as the creaks of an old building, the settling of timbers that had seen better days. But as he typed away at his latest manuscript, a chilling draft swept through the room, extinguishing his lamp. He fumbled for matches and relit it, only to find the words he had typed now read, "Get out, Roger." His heart raced as he glanced around the room, searching for the source of the message. A whispering voice filled the room, faint yet distinct. "Leave while you still can, Roger." Sweat beaded on Roger's brow as he watched the room's temperature plummet. His breath hung in the air like mist. Shadows danced across the walls, and a figure materialized in the corner, shrouded in darkness. It was a woman, her eyes filled with anguish. The ghostly figure glided closer, her voice now pleading. "You shouldn't have come here, Roger. This place is cursed." Terrified, Roger grabbed his belongings and bolted for the door, but it wouldn't budge. Panic coursed through him as he heard the ghostly voice behind him, growing louder and more desperate. "You can't escape, Roger. No one ever does." Desperation fueled his strength, and with a final, desperate push, he forced the door open. He sprinted down the echoing corridors, the ghostly presence pursuing him relentlessly. Mirrors shattered, paintings came alive with eerie figures, and the hotel seemed to pulse with malevolence. Finally, Roger burst out of the hotel and into the moonlit night. The old man at the front desk looked unsurprised as he saw Roger's panicked state. "I told you, sir. Room 704 is cursed." Roger fled from the Brookside Hotel, vowing never to return. He had escaped with his life, but he had also found the inspiration he so desperately sought. The horrors he had experienced that night would become the basis for his greatest novelle, a tale of love, loss, and the haunted room that had nearly claimed his soul. It was a story that would captivate readers for generations to come, a testament to the chilling reality of the Brookside Hotel.
In 1932, on a desolate island off the coast of Scotland, a pair of twins were born. Born during a terrible storm that claimed the life of their mother, Robert and Thomas were wrapped in mystery from the very beginning. The island's tight-knit community believed in tales passed down over the generations, tales of strange occurrences and ancient curses. One such legend foretold of twins, born during a storm, who would bring either salvation or devastation to the island. To prevent the prophecy from coming true, the island's elders decided to separate the boys. Robert remained with his father on the island, while Thomas was sent away to live with distant relatives in Australia. His memories of the island lost as he grew older. Years passed, and Thomas, now a young man, started having recurring dreams of a rugged island and a brother he never knew he had. Driven by this newfound knowledge and a deep sense of longing, Thomas embarked on a journey to seek out his twin. His travels eventually led him back to the mysterious Scottish island, where his presence was met with suspicion and dread. Robert, on the other hand, had grown into a quiet fisherman, aware of his lost twin, but told never to speak of him. Their reunion was emotional, a mix of joy and confusion, for the islanders avoided Thomas, whispering old tales and throwing him wary glances. But as days turned into nights, Thomas felt something was amiss. He was followed, watched, and strange symbols appeared outside his lodgings. Late one night, an elder named Morag visited Thomas, sharing the tale of the ancient evil, a creature known as the Dugal, which lay dormant beneath the island. The creature required a sacrifice every few generations to remain appeased, and Thomas's return was the sign it had been waiting for. As the island's yearly festival approached, Robert discovered the community's plans to offer Thomas as a sacrifice to the Dugal. Distraught and desperate, the twins decided to confront the creature and put an end to the island's cursed history. Guided by Morag's hints and old manuscripts, they ventured into the island's underground caverns. The path was treacherous, with sudden drops, echoing chambers, and chilling gusts. In the depths, they found an ancient chamber with inscriptions that hinted at a way to trap the Dugal. As the festival's chants began above, the ground shook, and the Dugal, a monstrous entity made of shadows and malice, rose to claim its due. The twins, using their identical appearances, managed to confuse and evade the creature, luring it into a trap. The climax came in a great cavern, where the twins used the very storm that marked their birth, channeling its energy through ancient artifacts to ensnare the Dugal. With roaring thunder and blinding light, the creature was sealed away. Its reign of terror ended. The twins emerged as heroes, having not only saved Thomas, but also freeing the island from its age-old curse. But the islanders were left in shock, their beliefs shattered. As a new dawn broke, Robert and Thomas, bound by blood and destiny, decided to leave the island behind, seeking a life where their fate wasn't written in ancient tales. The island, though free of the Dugal, would forever remember the stormy night of 1932, when destiny brought its children together to confront an ancient evil.
Willowbrook. Willowbrook, a picturesque town in the summer of 1973, seemed like the ideal place to grow up. The sun-kissed streets were lined with white picket fences, and children played freely in the warm embrace of July. Among these children were Chrissy and Randy, best friends since they could remember. Chrissy was known for her vibrant imagination, often lost in the enchanting worlds of her own creation. Randy, her steadfast companion, was always there to listen and lend a comforting hand. Alongside them were their close friends, Ben, Jimmy, and Carrie, a tight-knit group bound by a shared sense of adventure. One sweltering summer night, Chrissy's dreams took a sinister turn. She found herself trapped in a nightmarish landscape, surrounded by inky shadows and the haunting figure of Camilla. Camilla was a demon woman with luminous green eyes that seemed to pierce the very depths of one's soul. She whispered dreadful secrets into Chrissy's ears, filling her with dread. When Chrissy awoke, she was drenched in sweat, her heart racing. It was the beginning of a series of restless nights, each one invaded by Camilla's terrifying presence. She confided in Randy, sharing her haunting experiences, and he listened intently, concern etched on his face. As the nights wore on, Camilla's malevolent influence spread like wildfire. Soon, Ben, Jimmy, and Carrie began to experience the same tormenting dreams. Their nights became a battleground between the children and the insidious demon. They tried to make sense of the nightmares, but Camilla's sinister laughter echoed in their minds. Desperate for relief, the friends decided to approach Sheriff Wes Gideon, the town's police officer. However, Sheriff Gideon was known for his skepticism and no-nonsense attitude. He dismissed their stories as overactive imaginations fueled by the summer heat, leaving the children feeling frustrated and isolated. As their nightmares intensified, the children heard whispers about Mr. Hawthorne, a mysterious man who lived on the outskirts of town. Rumors swirled about his uncanny knowledge of the supernatural. Despite warnings from their parents to stay away from him, the children believed he held the key to their salvation. One evening, they mustered the courage to visit Mr. Hawthorne. His house, nestled amidst an overgrown garden, had an eerie, almost otherworldly aura. He welcomed them with a knowing smile and confirmed their suspicions. Camilla was no ordinary nightmare. She was a malevolent entity from ancient times. Mr. Hawthorne, a tall, wiry man with a long gray beard, began to share his knowledge of Camilla and how to protect themselves. He revealed that Camilla could invade the dream world, a realm where her powers were at their strongest. To counteract her, they needed to learn ancient rituals and incantations that had been passed down through generations. The children, filled with a newfound determination, embraced their role as guardians of Willowbrook. Mr. Hawthorne guided them, teaching them the secrets of the supernatural world. They practiced tirelessly, their bonds growing stronger with every shared experience. As the children delved deeper into the occult, Camilla's power escalated. She began to manifest in the waking world, causing chaos and fear in Willowbrook. Sheriff Gideon was finally forced to acknowledge the reality of the situation and reached out to the children for help. Together, the children and Sheriff Gideon prepared for a climactic showdown with Camilla. Armed with the ancient rituals and incantations, they knew that the fate of Willowbrook hung in the balance. They gathered the necessary artifacts and honed their skills, ready to face the malevolent demon. One fateful night, Camilla manifested in the waking world, her presence darkening the moonlit streets of Willowbrook. It was a battle of wills, a test of their newfound abilities against the ancient evil that had plagued their dreams. The demon woman, with her piercing green eyes, taunted them as they confronted her. Victory came at a price. In a final desperate act, Mr. Hawthorne sacrificed himself to ensure Camilla's permanent banishment. His selflessness and wisdom saved the town from the malevolent demon's clutches. Willowbrook was safe once more, but the memory of the summer of 1973 would forever linger in the dreams of Chrissy, Randy, Ben, Jimmy, and Carrie. As the summer days gave way to the crispness of autumn, life in Willowbrook returned to normal. The townsfolk remained wary of Mr. Hawthorne, but they couldn't deny the heroes who had saved their town. Chrissy, Randy, and their friends had faced their deepest fears and confronted the supernatural, emerging as true protectors of their beloved home. The demon Camilla may have been banished, but her memory would forever serve as a reminder of the courage and friendship that had prevailed against the darkest of nightmares. The summer of 1973 would be etched in their hearts as a testament to the power of unity, belief, and the enduring human spirit. With their shared experiences forever binding them together, Chrissy, Randy, Ben, Jimmy, and Carrie knew that life in Willowbrook would never be the same. They had unlocked the mysteries of the supernatural, and the bond they forged would guide them through the challenges of their young lives. As they looked to the future, the memories of that fateful summer would serve as a source of strength reminding them that even in the face of darkness, they were the guardians of Willowbrook, protectors of dreams, and champions against the unknown.